Jeenie had always believed that certain feelings were born long before a person even understood them. She believed that the universe planted invisible threads inside hearts, threads that connected strangers long before they crossed paths. She carried this belief like a secret flame, something fragile yet fiercely alive. Perhaps this was why she never felt completely alone. Even when she wandered through the quiet, windy evenings of her town, even when her thoughts were louder than the world around her, somewhere deep inside she felt that someone was walking toward her, step by step, second by second, long before she knew his name. Jeenie lived beside an old lake that reflected the sky with a rare softness. People said it was magical, that if someone made a wish while touching the water at sunrise, the lake would carry that wish to the person fate had chosen for them. Jeenie never took the tales too seriously, yet she often found herself standing by the water with her fingers trailing over the surface, as though her heart gently nudged her every morning. Sometimes she whispered her dreams into the breeze rising from the lake, imagining them drifting far away like floating silver dust. And sometimes she said nothing at all, simply listening to the whisper of the ripples. Her life was simple: books, sketching, long walks, laughter shared with the few people she loved. But inside her, a quiet yearning stirred every time she looked at couples strolling by the lakeside, hands intertwined. She wondered what it felt like to have someone see her not as a passing moment but as a story worth reading slowly. Across miles of forests and bustling streets, in a city that pulsed like a living heart, Prince Lovely lived a life so different that it felt carved from another world entirely. His real name wasn't Lovely. His mother had affectionately given him the nickname when he was a child because he had a habit of carrying beauty wherever he went. Beauty in the way he spoke gently even when angry. Beauty in the way he helped strangers without expecting anything back. Beauty in the way his eyes held a warmth that softened even the hardest days for those around him. People adored him, admired him, chased him, yet none truly reached him. He smiled, he replied, he lived, but he did not belong to anyone. Sometimes late at night, he felt something unsettling beneath his calm exterior, as though life around him was too loud, too fast, too demanding, while his heart was quietly drifting toward somewhere unknown. The weight of expectations, responsibilities, and appearances often drowned his true emotions. And although he never confessed this to anyone, he too carried a strange longing, one he didn't know how to name. All he knew was that somewhere beyond the city lights, beyond the noise and admiration, someone existed whose presence would feel like a breath taken after years underwater. The universe has a strange way of pulling threads together. One evening in the heart of autumn, Prince Lovely traveled to Jeenie's town with his team for a photography project. His passion had always been capturing moments that felt alive, and the lake near Jeenie's home had been recommended as a perfect place to shoot sunrise reflections. He arrived exhausted yet somehow restless, feeling a tug inside him that made no sense. He didn't know that Jeenie was standing at that very lake at that very moment, her fingertips touching its surface, making one more wish she didn't fully understand. The next morning before dawn, Prince Lovely walked toward the lake with his camera hanging from his shoulder. The world was still half asleep, only birds whispered in the dark. Soft fog wrapped the water, turning everything dreamlike. He breathed in the cold air, letting it clear the noise in his mind. That's when he saw her. Jeenie wasn't aware of him. She sat on a stone near the water, sketchbook open, her hair falling slightly forward as she drew the rising light on the horizon. Her presence felt strangely familiar to him, like he had seen her somewhere, not with his eyes but with his soul. He found himself watching her silently, unable to look away. Something inside him shifted, something quiet but powerful. He lifted his camera almost unconsciously and captured a moment. Her silhouette, her gentle posture, the quiet determination in her sketching hand. He didn't take pictures of people usually, but this felt like the moment he had been waiting for, without knowing he was waiting at all. The click of the camera broke the silence. Jeenie looked up sharply, surprised, her eyes meeting his. For a second neither moved nor spoke, as though time paused between them. "I'm sorry," he said quickly, lowering the camera. "I didn't mean to disturb you." "It's okay," she replied softly. "You just startled me." Her voice felt like something he had heard before, in dreams, in forgotten wishes, in the soft pull of fate. She closed her sketchbook and stood up, brushing dust off her clothes, and he felt a sudden panic that she might walk away before he even understood why he cared. "I'm Prince," he said. "Prince Lovely." "Well, Prince Lovely is just a nickname." Jeenie smiled slightly, a warm and shy curve of her lips. "I'm Jeenie." Her name settled in his heart with unexpected ease. Jeenie, it felt right, it felt meant. They spoke for a moment casually, yet every second felt unusually full. He asked about her drawings, and she showed him the sunrise she captured in pencil shades. He told her about his photography project, and she listened with genuine interest, not with the superficial admiration he was used to. There was no pretense between them, no struggle to impress, no weight of expectations, just two souls that seemed to remember each other in ways they couldn't explain. Prince Lovely asked if he could walk with her along the lake, and she agreed, surprised at her own impulse to say yes. They walked slowly, talking about the lake stories, about art, about life's small and beautiful moments. But there were also silences between them, not awkward ones, but peaceful ones that felt like the world simply breathing around them. By the time the sun rose fully, he knew he didn't want this morning to end. Jeenie felt the same, though she didn't admit it. Before leaving, he hesitated. Would it be okay if we meet again? Maybe later today. I want to see more of this place with you. Her heart fluttered, but she nodded. Yes, I'd like that. That day became one of the most unforgettable ones for both of them. They explored the town together. Old bookshops, hidden alleyways, little cafes where the aroma of cinnamon drifted through the air. Every moment deepened something silently blooming between them. There was no dramatic spark, no overwhelming sudden confession. Instead, there was a slow, steady warmth, like winter sunlight that melts frost without being noticed at first. Prince Lovely felt more himself with Jeenie than he had felt in years. With her, he wasn't surrounded by cameras, attention, pressure. He was just a man who laughed freely, who listened deeply, who felt seen not for what he represented but for who he was. And Jeenie, who had always lived quietly, felt an unfamiliar radiance inside her. His presence brought out a version of her she never fully realized she could be. Confident, joyful, beautifully alive. But fate rarely unfolds without testing the hearts it brings together. Prince Lovely had to return to the city soon. His work demanded it. Rumors spread online when some photos from the lake shoot leaked accidentally. His team panicked. His manager insisted he come back immediately. Life, loud and unrelenting, called him away from the peaceful town and from Jeenie. The day before he was supposed to leave, he and Jeenie sat together on the lake's edge. Neither spoke for a long time. The sky dimmed, the water reflected shades of pink and gold, and heartbreak hovered silently between them. You have to go, Jeenie finally said, her voice steady though her heart trembled. I don't want to, he whispered. But you will, she replied softly. And that's okay, you came here for a reason. Maybe this was just a moment. He turned to her, eyes unexpectedly intense. No, this wasn't just a moment. She looked away, afraid of how deeply his words struck her. Prince Lovely gently reached out and touched her hand. Jeanie, I don't know how or why, but I feel like I've known you longer than these days. You feel like something I was meant to find. Her breath shook. And when you leave, he exhaled slowly. I'll come back. How can you be sure? Because even before I knew your name, he whispered, my heart was already walking towards you. Tears filled her eyes, not out of pain but out of the profound truth she felt in his voice. She rested her head on his shoulder, and they stayed like that until stars appeared above them. Two souls holding on to something delicate but powerful, something that felt like destiny. Prince Lovely left the next morning, but not before turning back one last time, finding Jeanie standing by the lake, watching him leave with a quiet strength that broke his heart and healed it at the same time. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Life pulled at him from every direction, yet he never forgot the lake, the sketches, the silences, the laughter, the soft warmth of her presence. Every morning before work, he looked at the first photo he took of her, the silhouette at sunrise, and felt himself breathe easier. Jeanie kept living her simple days, but her world no longer felt empty. She carried him with her in every sunrise, every breeze over the water. She didn't know if he would return, but she believed in the threads she always sensed, threads the universe had woven long before she understood love. On a quiet evening nearly 6 months later, as Jeanie walked to the lake after finishing a sketch, she saw a figure standing at the water's edge. Her heart caught. She blinked, thinking her mind was playing tricks. But it was him. Prince Lovely turned around slowly, his eyes soft, emotional, alive in a way she had never seen before. Without a word, he walked toward her. She stood still, tears filling her eyes, not knowing whether to run to him or freeze. He reached her, lifted her trembling hands in his, and whispered, I told you I'd come back. Her tears fell freely now. Why did you come back? Because every sunrise I saw without you felt incomplete. He said softly, because you are not just a moment for me, Jeanie. You are my story. And in the fading light of evening, by the lake that had silently witnessed the beginning of their fate, Prince Lovely pulled her into his arms. For the first time, Jeanie felt the universe settle quietly inside her, as if all the invisible threads she believed in had finally tied themselves together.